Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. And in today's video guys, I'm going to be showing you sine waves in Roblox. Now before I show you how I can do this and use sine waves, what are sine waves? Well, sine waves are basically, it's in the name, it's like a wave that goes back and forth. It's a repetitive wave. And you can change how fast it happens and how often and whatever whatnot. So let's get right into the script. So here is basically the sine wave itself. Sine waves in Roblox, the 3 is the frequency, 20 is the amplitude. Now basically what those mean is the frequency, what it says here is the number of oscillations or cycles per unit of time. So that's basically how often it is. That's the frequency. 20 is amplitude. Basically what that means is the displacement of the wave from its original position. Right, so if the frequency was high and you divide it by the 20 amplitude, that basically means how far it is from the original position. So we're going to break this down even more. Math.sine, and then time. What is time? It returns the amount of time in seconds that have happened since the current game has started running. So basically what time is time returns the amount of seconds that the game has been running for. So say we called time when the game first starts, that could be something like 0.5. If we could call it later on time, that could be a minute. So 60 seconds could have went by, you know. That is what time is. And that helps us make it update. And then when we multiply it by 3, divide it by 20, 3, frequency again, 20 is amplitude. Okay guys, so this is the visual for sine waves. I'm in Desmos, which is a graphing calculator, and we can plug in the equation for sine, which is y is equal to sine x, and we can plug in the values, which we were just looking at in Roblox. So times 3 divided by 20, as you can see here. This is basically the sine wave. As you can see, it's a wave. It goes back and forth, goes positive, negative, positive, negative. Now, if we change the 3 value, say we change it to 30, as you can see, the wave happens a lot more. There's more waves. It's more frequent. Now, if we change the 20 and we divide it by something more, then the amplitude is, it's a smaller amplitude because we're dividing it by more, which is a small amplitude. But if we're only dividing it by 1, then it goes crazy, and so this is a good medium for what I'm showing you in Roblox, 3 divided by 20, because it's equal and it's just kind of nice. It's not chaotic, but you could play with these values. If you wanted 25 frequency and you divide it by a little bit, you could have it really really frequent, really crazy. But yeah, this is the visual representation of a sine wave. Now guys, using this information, how do we plug it in and make stuff work? Well, in this script, I'm just going to delete it just real quick. I'm going to make this part go up and down like you've seen at the beginning of the video. So it goes up, goes down, and it repeats itself. How would you do this? Well, you want to insert a regular script inside of a parts. This is my block I have here, and basically we're first going to start out by getting the run service, and you'll see why we're getting this, the run service. Let me zoom that out, but we're going to start with run service.heartbeat connect function. I'm just going to type all this out and I'll explain it in a little bit. Sorry, I'm going to get the variable up here. And now from here, guys, what you're going to put in here is, I'm going to grab this and put in 0. Now, if you guys don't know what a lot of this is, I'm going to go over it. So run service, you use the service to get calculations with the runtime of the game. So when we are calling heartbeat right here on run service, it's what heartbeat is a event that fires every frame. So it fires a lot. So that's good for updating things. What we are doing here is setting the C frame of the part to itself, and we are multiplying it. So C frame is position and orientation. So we're not going to say just position. C frame is better because you can handle stuff better. We are setting it to its C frame. So like basically what that would be saying is the C frame, it would just stay still. But it's not going to happen because we're going to multiply it by this new C frame value because we're calling C frame dot new. You have to put 0, this, 0 because what we are doing is we want to make the part move on the y-axis because in the script it's XYZ, because vector 3 values and C frame values, it takes an X, Y, and Z value. So basically saying by putting this in the y-axis, it's going to be moving up and down because this is the y-axis is up and down. X-axis is this red one right here, and Z is this. So we want to make that move up and down, right? And then we put what our sine wave in where the y-axis is. That's what makes it work. So now, if you play the game, run the game, it works. Oh, I forgot to do something. What you have to do here, I kind of messed this up. You have to put the divide 20 outside of this bracket. This was wrong, but it's math.sine time times 3. And you have to, outside of that, divide it by 20. So that's how you have to do it. And then now it'll work instead of doing that, because that's what I messed up. And as you can see, the part moves up and down. And if you notice, if it's not like up off the ground a little bit, it will go into the ground. So you can see there. Should have to raise it up a little bit. Now let's play with these values, right? So let's change this to 15, and you can see, as you can see, like look how fast, look how frequent it is. Now let me pull up Desmos again and actually see what we're doing here. Alright guys, so as you can see, this was our sine wave before. It was very calm. It's a good medium for what we are trying to do. Now, changing this to 15, I believe it was, as you can see, it's really crazy. It happens a lot more. Let's say if we want to change the amplitude to 100, that would equal it out a little bit. But what if we just changed it to 1? What would happen? Well, let's find out. Okay, we're going to change this to 1, and it's probably going to be really crazy. Oh, wow. Dang. Yeah, that's what happens. The amplitude is really high. We're going to switch that back to, let's just play around with it. If we say 100, it will be equal again like we've seen. Or not equal. So, okay, I'm kind of going against what I just said. But amplitude, when you divide it, when the amplitude is higher, you are dividing it by more, which is saying it's going to be a smaller value, right? Because when you divide it by more, the output of that division is smaller. So when you divide it by less, you aren't cutting it up more. So when we set that to 1, then the amplitude is really high, right? It was bouncing like really high and really low. So that's basically what that is, right? Amplitude of 100 and frequency of 100. You can barely see it moving. So that is what I'm saying. Like, this is how you can change the values to how you want it in your sine wave. You don't have to change anything about sine or time. This is the frequency. So 5. And when you divide it by more, that means there's not going to be as much waviness to it, if you know what I mean. But if you divide it by less, then there will be more wave to it, as you can see. Let me do that again, but let me raise it more in the air. There you go. Guys, if you did learn something from this video and you did enjoy it, please hit the like button and the subscribe button. It'll help me out a lot, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.